In C#, let's try and access an API. So here, this is an example API that's fully open that anyone can query. So if I show you that in a website, so as you can see, that's the URL, and all it has is a JSON data format. And what JSON data format is just like CSV, but it's got a key and a value. The key and value pairs. That's what JSON data format is. And you can see each item is separated by a comma and these curly braces. So that's, think of it as one object in a class. So if you have a class of posts, then it will have the following fields: user ID, ID, title, body. And then this is the next item over here, and then so on. And all of them are surrounded by the square brackets here. And that's what a JSON format is. So we have data for 100 posts within here, as you can see over here. I've got the Firefox browser, which actually shows you this in a nice format. So you can see the user ID, ID of the post, and then this is the title and the body. But this is what it looks like in raw. So in C#, how do you actually work with this data? So here, as you can see, we are importing in a few namespaces. These are all built into C#, so there is no extra installation required. The HTTP client here is basically coming from this namespace there, and what we're going to do is, using the client we have here, we are just gonna get the URL, which is defined here, and then we will get a response back. And then this code here just ensures the response we get is a success status. So that means there are no errors that have occurred. And then we are going to read and parse the JSON format. So what we're going to do is we are going to await for that data to come back using the await keyword. And then we are going to read that data and store it within the JSON string over here. And then we're going to map it against a post variable using the post class. And you can see here, this JSON serializer actually comes from text.json. And what it will do is it will deserialize. So basically convert the JSON data that we have into a class data object called post. So what does the post object look like? Well, you won't be surprised. This is what we've called it. You can call it anything that you want, but these fields here, like ID, title, and body, they need to match exactly as the field's name here. So you got user ID, ID, title, body. Even the casing needs to match. So if this is lowercase body and this is a lowercase ID, then that needs to match over here. Otherwise, it won't work. So what it will do is it will map those exact items from this JSON into the post class object that it's going to create. And it will do that automatically because the field name match. We are going to loop through that and print out the post ID and the post title. Remember, we're now using the post variable here, which will basically represent a single post in this class over here. And then there is any error, then we'll simply capture the error here and say something went wrong. So this is, in a nutshell, a quick walkthrough of how to access an API in JSON using C#.